5, 4. Hello everyone, this is Shaitan bringing you another one of the games from Millennium Stephano from MLGOrlando. We have a ZvZ now on Tal'Darim Altar as part of Winners Bracket Round 2 between the Red Zerg in the upper right corner, Millennium Stephano, and the Blue Zerg in the bottom left corner cross map, Check 6's Mystik. Now, Mystik is a perennial participant at MLG events, however, he's never really made it deep into the tournament, always winning a few rounds in the winner bracket, dropping to the loser bracket, and then getting knocked down, while Stephano is coming off a very, very strong performance at IPL3, and also after this tournament, winning ESWC, so we have to believe that Stephano is the favorite. However, ZvZ is a very odd matchup. There's a certain amount of chance due to build order losses that can arise, so we'll see how the game ends up playing out. Now, interesting to note is their position is as far away from each other as can be. We already see the first divergence in style between the two. Stephano is going for a 10 spawning pool, however he drops it after his after his first overlord, so it's not going to be as quickly as it can be, and we see him following up with a gas, whereas we see Check 6's Mystik getting a extractor and then following it up with a spawning pool, pointing to an early speedling opening. We'll see if he decides to keep the drones on gas after he reaches 100 gas mine. That'll point to a Baneling follow-up, which again is very, very effective, even as a defensive mechanism. They one-shot Zerglings, so you can, with a good control, you can take out a very large clump of Zerglings. Stephano has completed his pool about 20 seconds earlier than Mystik is going to be able to, and we see him beginning his queen production, mining some gas. I'm kind of curious to see if Stephano is going to continue mining gas after he mines 100. I believe he will. This sort of opening with the early pull in the gas points to a very early Baneling opening. He's going to try and hit before Mystik can get any sort of defense up with Spine Crawlers or Banelings of his own. And we do see him continuing to mine gas, pointing towards something of that sort. Meanwhile, Mystik has completed his pool. His speed is also on the way, and he has 4 Zerglings on the way as well. If we look at Stephano's base right now, and he is getting the Baneling nest. Neither of them actually knows exactly what the other player is doing. Their vision doesn't show them having vision of each other, but they should be able to scout each other fairly soon, whether directly or indirectly. Mystik is now taking this expansion. I don't know how effective this is going to be against Stephano's opening. His Baneling nest is going to be done in 30 seconds. He's going to have these Banelings out well before Mystik can do anything in terms of responding with Banelings of his own or being able to drop a Spine Crawler at the natural. Right now, the only saving grace that he has is he has, he had 2 more Zerglings compared to these 2, but now Stephano is up to 8. He's going to be able to drive these Zerglings away. It doesn't look like the metabolic boost is going to give any sort of advantage to either player, but Mystik does kind of sneak in the Zergling right here. We'll see it actually is not able to see the Baneling nest. That's very, very important right now. I think that Mystik is just going to be blindsided by the early Banelings of Stephano. I don't know if I really like that Stephano is making these Banelings over here. I suppose he is doing so as a defensive mechanism, but Stephano is going to be behind on on Zerglings very soon compared to Mystik, especially since Mystik is going to have this second production facility very soon. In terms of drones, Stephano actually holds the lead 15 to 14, and Mystik is beginning to make Banelings of his own. We have an engagement in the middle right here, but it just looks like Mystik is going to turn around and run to the safety of these Banelings over here. I'm not really sure what Stephano is going to do here. He holds the economic lead, but it's only going to be a brief one, as Mystik is going to be able to make drones much, much faster than Stephano. He's working up the ramp right now. It's all going to depend on the Banelings, and it looks like the Banelings, a big chunk of them gets taken out. Stephano actually loses most of his Banelings at the cost of just 2, so right now Mystik has the lead, 3 Banelings to 0. Stephano is making 4 more, and meanwhile Mystik is also making 1 right now. This is the sort of dance of death of Zerg versus Zerg, where an instant of miscontrol can cost cost you the entire game. Mystik is moving out with his Zerglings. He's trying to force the engagement before the Banelings come out. We'll see if both players are able to control their Banelings appropriately. Ideally, you'd want to be seeing some sort of singular Zerglings doing damage on Banelings. What we see right here, the Banelings are going in, and there's significant damage to both sides, but it looks like Stephano's actually going to be taking the lead because these Banelings are just running in. Mystik needs to send in Zerglings one at a time, but he's not doing so fast enough, and he's actually going to lose almost all. Oh, he just missed a grand opportunity right there. But Stephano is in the base right now with all of his Zerglings. He's going to be able to do significant damage to the mineral line of Mystik, and Mystik is just on his back feet right now in terms of workers. Mystik is down 6. These Banelings are going to be able to do significant damage to all of the drones of Mystik, and it looks like he's still only down 5. Mystik held that off actually very, very well. Stephano has begun to take his own natural expansion in order to follow up with some sort of economic edge. I don't know if Stephano actually did enough damage with that. Mystik is down 7 drones, but he's going to be able to make them twice as fast right now. Stephano's stat tree is going to finish very soon, so we'll see how that goes for him. Stephano is planting down a spine crawler. He canceled the spine crawler, and right now the advantage in army is going to go to Mystik. He's up 16 drones versus none of Stephano. Actually, Stephano just came up to 14, so they look fairly even. And we'll see which of these players is going to be the first one to transition out of this Ling Bling style and into Roaches, which is the next logical step in the Zerg vs. Zerg metagame at the moment. But things have calmed down a tiny little bit. Supplies are fairly even, 35 to 31. Stephano is still ahead in drones slightly by 4 right now, but we see the Mystik is catching up. There's a bit of a, a little bit of an engagement over here. They're trying to get the hits on the Banelings that they need, and we'll see how it works out. These 2 Zerglings are actually able to take out a lot of these Banelings, but Stephano comes to the rescue, and he's going to be able to force back the engagement. These Banelings make it so that the Zerglings of Mystik are not going to be able to do any sort of damage, and it looks like Mystik actually lost a fairly significant portion of these 2, probably a lone Baneling that went off to do damage over in this area. But again, things have settled down a bit. Again, I don't think we're going to be seeing that much more Ling aggression out of either player. We see Stephano is actually moving toward teching up. He's getting an evolution chamber in the back. He's probably going to begin researching +1 range and dropping his Roach Warren very soon. He's also working on these rocks. I like this that he's putting these Zerglings to use rather than just having them wait around uselessly here when the Banelings are going to be able to defend quite well. The other thing I like is Stephano has very, very good vision with his overlords. You can see about half the path from his opponent's base to his, whereas Mystik doesn't seem to have the same. He just has this one overlord right here, which can't even see the ramp, so Stephano could attack with Zerglings, and Mystik wouldn't be aware of it until right about this area because of the Zergling at the watchtower. Now, Stephano is going to be getting the missile attack started about 15-20 seconds before his opponent. He's beginning to morph his lair. Interestingly, we don't actually see a Roach Warren down for Stephano. I'm beginning to see this more and more often. Players are delaying their Roach Warrens, getting the missile attacks up much quicker, and we see that Stephano is actually taking his 3rd base. This is the advantage of having put those Zerglings to use much, much earlier. Mystik, having not done so, is only about halfway done with his own rock, so his expansion is probably going to be at about 30 seconds behind Stephano. Stephano, meanwhile, has gotten his Roach Warren down. It's going to finish about 20 seconds after Mystik's, but that's not going to be that big of a deal. And Mystik is actually supply capped right now, and a quick Zergling sneak actually cost Mystik 2 Banelings to do some poor control right there. We do see that Stephano is continuing to spread out overlords. He's going to have an amazing vision of the map, and Stephano is actually moving out with some Banelings right here. We'll see how much damage he can do with them. It doesn't look like that much. He can just attack with these 2 Zerglings, and they're going to be able to take out Banelings very quickly, and right there we see that there's one left that's going to be taken out by the Spine Crawler, or by a Zergling, assuming Mystik controls very well. But one thing that he has been able to do is just prevent these hatches from going down, or these rocks from going down, and Stephano is going to get his hatchery up at least about a minute and a half before Mystik can even drop his. Otherwise, things are fairly even from the players. We do see that Stephano is actually slightly behind in the drones, but he's going to be spreading out his drones on 3 bases, probably going to be giving him a slight income lead. We do see that he's actually up about 200 minerals per minute, even though he's down 9 harvesters. We also see that Stephano is ahead in the roach count, 13 to what will soon be 3 for Mystik, and I think that Stephano has to be really pleased with the way that things are going for him right now, because he's taking these very, very tiny leads and tiny advantages and turning them into bigger ones, just getting this hatchery up so much quicker than his opponents is going to translate into an economic advantage that he can use to make more and more roaches until eventually he's just going to be able to force the issue and roll over his opponent. We do see that Mystik, I'm not sure if it's because he recognized this or this is just the build order he likes, he's getting a fairly quick infestation pit. He only has 8 roaches out. I think Stephano could actually just move out, and if his army pushed out and the armies engaged as they were right now, he would just be able to completely roll over Mystik's force. He's up about 20 supply. He's getting his +2 missile attacks. He's getting up the second Evo chamber, begun upgrading the Carapace. But if Mystik can delay, or if Stephano doesn't attack until this infestation pit is done, and Mystik dumps enough resources into those infestors, the fungal growth ignores Carapace. It doesn't care about the upgrades your roaches have, and it's going to be able to do a significant amount of damage to them. Right now, though, we see that Stephano has about double the roaches of Mystik's. There was actually a changeling right here, so Mystik was able to keep a very nice eye on the army of his opponent, but we see that Stephano is going to be hitting a timing before the pathogen glands are done, before the infestors are out. His +2 might finish by the time the attack happens, maybe soon after it's done, and we see that he's actually ahead of Mystik's roaches by about 15, with more on the way. His upgrades are going to finish ahead of his opponents. He's researching burrow right now. So we see the first deviation really in the two opponent's tech paths. Stephano upgrading his roaches more. He's getting burrow. He's split up his attack forces right now. He's attacking with these roaches in the main while he's doing a counterattack right here. The counterattack as a third is going to be able to take out the drones. Probably take out the queen. No, it looks like he's targeting the hatchery. I don't know if he's going to be able to take it out. It's a half health right now. The army of Mystik is moving back. It looks like this hatchery is actually going to go down. Stephano will lose all of these roaches, likely, but that's going to be okay. He's at the same time attacking in the natural, and it looks like Mystik is just being spread too thin. He's not splitting up his forces too much. He has too small of an army attacking the one at the natural, and too big of one attacking the one at the third. His natural also goes down, so now he's down 1 hatch to the 3 of Stephano. He has 2 infestors coming up, but it's not going to be enough. Stephano is going to be able to ride this advantage into victory, and he's going to take game 1, taking a 1-0 lead in the series. So it's just, if Stephano plays this right, there should be no way for Mystik to come back from this. We do see supplies are more even right now, with Stephano only up by about 14, but remember that Stephano is able to produce off of 3 hatcheries. He has larva injects coming off all of those hatcheries, and Mystik only has the 1 hatch. He's only going to be able to get the production off of this 1 hatchery, so 7 larvae every inject cycle, and that's just not going to be enough. We see the story already being told, with Stephano taking a slight lead in the amount of roaches. He's up 11. These 2 infestors aren't even in the area. They're not going to be able to do the fungals that they need to do, and Mystik is forced back. Right now it's actually 2-1 for Stephano and 1-1 for Mystik. His +2 range attack isn't done yet. That was a beautiful fungal from the infestor, but it's not going to be enough. Stephano's actually flanking from the top, and all of the roaches are dying, and Mystik GG's. 1-0 Stephano.